Well, you know, I think it will be denounced as polemical film anyway, because I think the conservative right in the States is so, you know, aggressive that without even seeing the film, they're going to denounce the film. I mean, I think anything that isn't seen as being 100% behind the war effort in Iraq, praising the Marines up to the gills, or could be seen as any way being critical of them, is regarded as sort of unpatriotic and against the war movement. So I think this is a film that, I mean, if you look on the internet, for example, some of the stuff that's been written about it by these groups is like, makes my hair stand on end. When I look at it, you know, it's like incredible. But at the same time, I really felt the people to blame for this are the policymakers. It's not the Marines, who, as I said, I thought were kind of guys who'd never been out of the States before, and they were kids, you know, and they were kids who had this amazing weaponry that they loved to fire, which was unbelievably powerful. And to them, it was kind of a mixture of, you know, it's like one of those games, those video games that they played, which they played all the time in the barracks anyway. And I thought it was very important to paint them that way rather than blaming, you know, laying all the blame on them.
Okay, we've got time for two more.
It's 3 minutes.
3 minutes. We've got 3 minutes. Okay, let's have a question from the lady. Yes, with the scarf.
I was really interested in the way that it's so obvious that so much of what is happening there is filmed. You know, that everyone seems to have a camera and is filming, and you know, and I think that's obviously how, in the end, the Marines came to trial for what they did, because it was filmed. I'm just wondering how much access you had to that footage, and how much of what you put in the film was actually based on footage that you had access to.
Yeah, a lot of it is. I mean, the interviews, particularly with the women at the end, were very much based on that footage. In fact, if you compare them, they look very similar. I mean, some of the footage is pretty grisly that was filmed. It was the Hammurabi Rights Society or something that shot the videos, and you know, they were really gruesome. A lot of the stuff. There's also some amazing drone footage I was just telling Jason about, which was shot, you can get it on the internet as well, where you get a drone flying over, filming the bodies by the taxi and that kind of stuff, and around the whole area in amazing colour that was also shot. Yeah, I think it is a war that is being covered, but on the whole in a very inadequate way. I mean, I think it's very hard with a lot of the footage we've seen to really understand the heart and soul of the people, which is one of the reasons I wanted to make the film, because I felt there's been, in all the reports that we see on the news, you understand so little about the humanity of the various sides that are taking part. And we just see, you know, a report about so many people being killed and so on, without really understanding anything about who the people are, how they're thinking, and so on. But I agree with you. I think the footage that was shot that day was essential to bringing the whole thing to the notice of the public. And if it hadn't been filmed, we wouldn't know anything about Haditha. Because I think incidents like this happen every day in Iraq, which most of the time we don't hear about.
Okay, we are going to have to end it there, I'm afraid. The film showing after this is the Darjeeling Limited, which is 1,000,000 miles from Battle for Haditha. But Nick has come a very long way to be here tonight, and he, as I said, he always comes and he always talks to the Brighton audience about his films. So we're very grateful, and we congratulate Nick on Battle for Haditha.
Thanks for joining us here on the CineCity podcast. Visit www.cine-city.co.uk to view or download this year's full programme, book tickets, and receive up-to-the-minute festival news. You can also subscribe to the podcast while you're there to make sure you never miss an episode. The CineCity podcast is created in association with Director's Notes, the weekly film podcast dedicated to the what, how and why of independent filmmaking. Find it at directorsnotes.com.